There's a strange idea that we grow through suffering, that if we're going to become more conscious, more empathetic, more human and humane, we often need to suffer. Now, nobody likes to suffer, and we all think our level of consciousness is just fine. We don't need to grow any further. Evidently, the universe doesn't agree with that, and it wants us to become more aware of the world, of ourselves, and what's going on inside of us, and what kind of part we play in the world, what kind of relationship we have with other beings, with nature, and the fact that we have a tendency to go to sleep. Maybe pain, maybe a shock is in order. Uh, I don't like that idea any more than you do, probably, but um, Jung talked about how the things we don't see, that we refuse to see, come back as fate. And I have to say that has happened to me. I was told in my 40s that by some Tibetan astrologers who were passing through town that I had a sibling that was going to steal my inheritance. And I just dismissed it out of hand. That's never going to happen. These guys are a little bit crazy. I thought they would be smarter than that. And of course, it happened. Um, and so I know that I'm just like everybody else. I refuse to know things I don't want to know. Well, what is the universe going to do about that? Is it going to just back off and let us be ignorant fools? Or is it going to introduce some game changing experience where we become aware of something that was always right in front of our face that we didn't want to know, and so we didn't know it. I think that the world pretty much has this problem right now. And in the United States, where people who are suffering and who have wounds and real psychological problems involving a lot of anger, involving a determination to survive, however, whatever it takes, somehow end up in prison. And the US has the largest prison population of any country in the world. That's kind of how we treat ourselves. That's kind of how we think we can go on down the road and not have to bother with the problematic feelings and thoughts and injuries that we've had and live an appropriate and normal life, and we can't get by with it. The universe is just not going to let it happen. It won't allow it. So here we are. Each individual usually has some kind of issue. Something has happened to them, and their reaction was to ignore it, cover it up, and go on. And because we were not taught of how to deal with emotional wounds, we're not taught how to deal with a feeling of abandonment or betrayal. And so we have that seed in us and we pass it on. We pass it to our children, we pass it to our family, we pass it to our friends, we pass it to society. And it's pretty obvious we don't want the world that syndrome creates. We want uh, a peaceful world that's more than a surface peace. We want peace that goes down into the depths of our feelings and thoughts and relationships. Well, there is a habit that we fall into of avoiding the the wounds, the reactions that we have to the wounds, very honest reactions of rage, of, of at being outraged, at being violated, and our religion teaches us to forgive, and we can force that issue, and we can say the right thing. We can do what we're supposed to do, but underneath, we don't feel it. As a matter of fact, in the middle of the night, you may wake up in a rage because of something somebody else did. That pretty much shows you've got unfinished business inside of yourself, but we don't know what to do with it. We can't finish it off. The energy won't flow from the original wound on through its various mutations until it can exit our system because we abort it. We prevent it from going any further with beliefs, with our ideas that we shouldn't feel what we are feeling. So, on a large scale, it's kind of hard to see how our society can really function with so many people. I mean, it is so common to have these wounds from childhood and so on. And we're the walking wounded. We're basically just doing the best we can with what we've got. And a lot of people cannot actually function. And we do have a system of that puts people um, in dire straits pretty easily. And people who want to retire can have their retirement fund completely stolen by some CEO. Trusting the system used to work, I guess, um, at least for some people, but it's getting less and less trustworthy, which is because human beings are getting less trustworthy. Um, I think to a certain extent, that's a cultural thing. I think that there are some cultures where you can still rely on the systems and that people are trustworthy. But when a society starts to break apart, like it is in the US right now, you have to ask yourself why. There are reasons, psychological reasons, that there are so many people, and those people are in positions of power and responsibility, and they're just out for themselves, whatever they can get. And they don't care if they have to lie and cheat to get it. We need a better class of system. We need a better class of human beings in general. But to have that, we're going to have some healing. And it is pretty obvious that our education is not doing that. Our religion is not doing that. We're going to have to figure out how to deal with that. I just wanted to talk about that. Something to think about.